Some mysteries refuse to be forgotten. Some legends never fade. And some conspiracies demand to be uncovered. This is Codename Unknown. Mysteries, conspiracies, and legends. Where expert investigator and host Jackson Wolf dives deep into history's most perplexing enigmas, chilling folklore, and secretive cover-ups. Each week, he pushes the boundaries of what we know, uncovering hidden truths and questioning the stories we've been told. The search for answers begins now. Open your mind, question everything, and step into the shadows.
Welcome to Codename Unknown. I'm Jackson Wolf, and today we're stepping into the glow of the screen to ask a deceptively simple question. How did internet urban legends take over the 21st century? From midnight whispers on message boards to TikTok clips that flood your feed, these viral nightmares shape how we fear, how we share, and how we decide what might be true. Tonight, we'll map where these tales come from, why they spread, and what they cost. We'll trace the lineage from chain emails to analog horror, unpack the craft behind a convincing hoax, and break down the psychological gears that keep the machine humming. You'll hear case studies, a practical verification toolkit, and a look ahead at AI-powered mirages. My goal isn't to kill the magic of a good story, but to give you the light you need when the hallway gets dark. Keep your curiosity, sharpen your skepticism, and let's navigate the corridors together. By the end, you'll know how to enjoy the chills without getting played by the algorithm. And yes, we'll keep an eye on what the platforms know about us. First, definitions. An internet urban legend is a memorable, portable story that spreads online with unclear origin, social transmission, and a whiff of plausibility. It's less a claim to be proven than a tale to be retold. How does that differ from a conspiracy theory? Conspiracies allege coordinated wrongdoing by powerful actors and usually posit an explanatory system. Urban legends often orbit a single uncanny event without a full theory of control. Creepypasta is a genre label for short horror fiction built to circulate on forums and social platforms. Some pieces become legends when authorship fades and readers treat them as possibly real. RGs, alternate reality games, are designed experiences that use real-world clues, puzzles, and in-character storytelling. They invite you to play knowingly. Moral panics, by contrast, are waves of public fear about threats to social order, sometimes triggered by legends, sometimes amplified by institutions. The overlaps are messy. A legend can seed a panic, a conspiracy can adopt legend motifs, and creators can frame fiction as diegetic evidence. The through line is ambiguity plus shareability, engineered or emergent. And remember, definitions describe tendencies, not rigid boxes with locks forever. Let's sketch a brief timeline. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, chain emails warned of deadly attachments, razor-bladed candy, and Bill Gates paying you to forward messages. Hoaxes thrived because email made social proof look personal. Forums and image boards then birthed copy-and-paste horror, early creepypasta, where anonymity and remix culture blurred authorship. By 2009, YouTube and web series enabled found footage aesthetics and episodic myth-building. Reddit's No Sleep added a communal rule set, treat everything as true in universe, that trained audiences to read diegetically. Instagram and Vine turned micro-moments and visual gimmicks into lore seeds. The late 2010s brought TikTok's duets, stitches, and sounds, letting users rapidly iterate on a premise, while analog horror channels used VHS patina to imply archival authenticity. Meanwhile, WhatsApp and Telegram created fast, private rumor loops resistant to debunking. In the 2020s, AI text and image tools lowered the barrier to conjuring artifacts, screenshots, documents, and faces that look real enough to travel. Deepfake audio added voice to the mix. Today, a legend can be born on a fringe server at noon and be mainstream dinner talk by nightfall. And tomorrow it mutates again with each platform's quirks. What makes a viral nightmare stick? Ambiguity is the oxygen. The story must be specific enough to feel anchored, yet open enough to invite completion by the audience. Faux authority helps. Screenshots of internal emails, a grainy badge, a watermark, a map. Friend of a friend sourcing gives distance without breaking plausibility. My cousin's coworker found this behind the mall. Striking sensory hooks, distorted audio, uncanny faces, liminal spaces, looping sounds, create an imprint that lingers after facts fade. Then comes a call to share framed as care. Warn others. Boost this. They're hiding it. Pseudo-evidence seals the loop. Red-circled images, clipped DMs, EXIF snippets, or misapplied statistics. Timeliness matters. Drop it when anxiety is already high and attention is primed. And format is strategy. Short enough for a swipe, modular enough to remix, and consistent with platform rituals so the algorithm rewards it. A final ingredient is narrative affordance. The legend provides roles for the audience: witness, investigator, protector, or prankster, so participation feels meaningful. If retelling earns status, the motor never stops. Uncertainty plus urgency plus identity equals velocity, and velocity becomes mistaken for legitimacy. Repeat that formula enough times and a myth hardens fast. Consider Slender Man, born on the Something Awful forums in 2009 during a Photoshop contest to create paranormal images. The character's faceless suit, elongated limbs, and presence near children delivered immediate symbolic freight: authority without identity, protection inverted. The origin was explicitly fictional, yet ambiguity bloomed as the images traveled beyond context. Marble Hornets, a YouTube found footage series, extended the myth with episodic in-character uploads, time gaps, and puzzle-like community decoding. Two lessons emerge. First, collaborative myth-making can scale emotion faster than authorship. As users riff, add artifacts, and stage sightings, the character gains folk status. Second, format sets epistemology. YouTube's cadence, comments, and playlists let fiction simulate evidence. The tragedy in Wisconsin, where two girls attacked a classmate for Slender Man, underscores how a minority of vulnerable minds confuse fantasy with delusion, especially when peer dynamics and untreated illness are present. That event did not prove the legend real. It proved legends can become vessels for pre-existing turmoil. Responsible coverage should separate creative fandom from harm without erasing the risk. It's the ecology around the story, not the story alone, that matters. Context shapes outcomes dramatically. The Momo Challenge and the Blue Whale game are textbook studies in media amplification outpacing evidence. Reports claimed a hidden network of tasks coerce children towards self-harm, guided by creepy avatars or moderators. What investigations largely found were scattered instances of bullying, dares, and copycat rumors, magnified by sensational coverage and school letters warning parents. The striking image associated with Momo, a sculpture with bulging eyes, became a fear totem, while journalists sometimes treated anecdotes as data. Platforms issued statements, police posted alerts, and the warning itself performed the legend by spreading it. This doesn't mean no one was harmed. Moral panics redirect attention and stigmatize vulnerable youth who were already struggling. Takeaway: absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, but positive evidence should meet a higher bar than screenshots and forwarded voice notes. We need corroboration, timelines, and named sources. When adults circulate unverified alerts, they grant the legend authority, teach kids its language, and intensify the cycle. Better is targeted digital literacy, calm supervision, and resources for mental health rather than viral admonitions. Quiet, consistent conversations beat panic blasts that immortalize the rumor. Focus on behaviors instead. On the creative side, the backrooms and SCP show how collaborative fiction becomes living mythology. A single uncanny image, fluorescent carpeted liminal halls, spawned countless backrooms levels, rules, and video tours. SCP, the Secure, Contain, Protect Wiki, formalized a bureaucratic tone that makes entries read like declassified files, training readers to savor diegetic detail. Polybius, the supposed 1980s arcade cabinet that induced illness, persists without confirmable provenance because it sits at the crossroads of arcade culture, government paranoia, and nostalgia. Cicada 3301, a series of puzzles posted in 2012, blended high-level cryptography, global clues, and secrecy, producing a mystique that resists closure. Randonautica marketed itself as a quantum adventure app. Users picked coordinates and then interpreted coincidences as meaningful, often recording eerie finds. Lesson: uncertainty plus participatory rules create an engine that doesn't require a central author. Each project teaches different techniques: tone, institutional mimicry, puzzle scaffolding, and open-world prompts that storytellers now deploy across platforms, and they expose the tension between art and journalism. When creators stay in character, even reputable outlets can mistake performance for proof. Verification culture must adapt to art that refuses to break character on purpose. Algorithms love engagement, not accuracy. Recommendation systems amplify content that triggers comments, rewatches, and duets, especially pieces that invite reaction, fear, outrage, debate. A legend that offers a template, a sound, a green screen background, a three-part reveal, becomes a memeable unit the system can recognize and reward. Cross-platform contagion accelerates mutation. A rumor born on an image board gets summarized on Reddit, dramatized on YouTube, memed on Instagram, and converted into a TikTok script, then lands in encrypted chats where screenshots lose context. Each hop strips metadata and adds performative flair. The result is a Ship of Theseus story, the same premise carried by different bodies. WhatsApp family groups and Telegram channels give legends staying power because corrections rarely travel as far as the original claim, and moderation is decentralized. Meanwhile, monetization quietly nudges choices. Mid-rolls, sponsorships, and cloud incentives reward creators who feed the cycle. None of this absolves individuals, but it does frame our task. Design frictions, build provenance tools, and cultivate norms where pausing is valued more than posting. Slow interfaces, share prompts with context, and heat-down ranking for rumors can help. Transparency reports should map flows across platforms in real time. Why do these stories grip us? Fear focuses attention. Uncertainty makes pattern-seeking feel productive. Sharing earns social currency, status for being early, savvy, or protective. Legends offer identity signaling. I belong to the people who know. During crises, motivated reasoning recruits rumors that flatter our worldview or explain chaos with agency. Boredom plays a role too. When days feel interchangeable, a mystery grants texture. Now the blur. Diegetic storytelling keeps creators in character, collapsing the boundary between narrative and documentation. Journalists sometimes err by reporting from within the fiction without stating so. Platforms compound the blur when verification badges sit next to roll accounts, or when auto-captioning mistakes sarcasm for assertion. The more an artifact behaves like a document, camera shake, timestamps, watermarks, the more our heuristics say evidence. But authenticity of format is not authenticity of event. Separating those is the work. Ask, is this a performance space? What incentives are at play? Does the creator ever step outside the frame? Absence of self-awareness can be a strategy, not a sign of truth. Document the context, not just the clip, and uncertainty becomes manageable. Resist binary judgments early on. Follow incentives to see who benefits. Creators gain clout, ad revenue, and audience loyalty. Tabloids and content farms monetize clicks. Disinformation actors launder narratives through culture. Communities find belonging and language to process fear. On the cost side, targets of rumors endure harassment and vigilantism. Marginalized groups are scapegoated. Scarce resources divert to phantom threats. Public trust erodes. Educators and moderators burn out, and families navigate stigma or grief. Yet there is a creative upside worth defending. Participatory storytelling lowers the drawbridge to the castle of culture. People who never saw themselves as writers become world builders. Fans collaborate across borders. Experimental formats push art forward. The key is keeping the boundary work intact, naming fiction as fiction, labeling reenactments, and refusing to trade mystery for cruelty. When platforms and press treat unverified claims as plot rather than proof, harm reduces. When they mistake plot for proof, harm multiplies. Our job is not to sneer at belief, but to widen our aperture: who profits, who is exposed, and who is missing from the frame. Add those answers to your mental checklist before you tap share. That habit changes ecosystems slowly. Let's build a verification toolkit you can actually use. Start with lateral reading. Open new tabs, search names, quotes, and unique phrases. See if reputable outlets or primary documents corroborate. Run reverse image search, and for video, keyframe grabs through image search. Check if visuals predate the claim. Inspect dates, time zones, and geolocation clues. Weather, license plates, signage. Find the original uploader. Examine prior posts to spot patterns of fiction, satire, or trolling. Triangulate across at least 2 independent sources before sharing. For screenshots and leaks, look for mismatched fonts, cropping that hides context, and inconsistent metadata. Learn cheap fakes, slowed or sped clips, selective edits, and stay aware of deepfakes by checking lighting, blinking, and audio timbre. Ethical coverage means minimize harm, avoid naming minors or unverified victims, add content warnings, and refrain from embedding rumor artifacts unnecessarily. Globally, legends localize, voices shift languages, symbols map onto local fears, and translation introduces new ambiguities. Encrypted chats create rumor loops, engage trusted community leaders, and use clear, shareable debunks tailored to local idioms. Skepticism travels best when it feels culturally native. Keep receipts and timelines so corrections are easy to share. What's next? AI enables hoaxes at scale. Voice cloning that impersonates loved ones, synthetic influencers who never break character, and image generators that fabricate scenes with plausible artifacts. Expect hybrid cheap deepfakes, real footage with subtle edits, plus forged leaks seeded by botnets. The countermeasures are maturing: watermarking, hash matching, and open standards like C2PA that add provenance to media so apps can show capture device, edit history, and publisher signatures. These tools help, but culture still decides. That's where you come in. For our interactive myth autopsy, send us recent legends, screenshots, or voice notes. We'll analyze them on a future show, and we'll run a 2-poll format, vote on plausibility before and after, so you can feel your skepticism evolve in real time. As we close, remember the core moves: stay curious, verify before sharing, and treat viral fear as a signal to slow down. Internet legends are mirrors and funhouse mirrors. They reveal anxieties and distort them. If we pair wonder with discipline, we keep the thrills and lose less to harm. Subscribe and send tips via the show notes. I'm Jackson Wolf. Thanks for listening, and stay safe out there.
You've been listening to Codename Unknown: Mysteries, Conspiracies, and Legends. The search for answers never stops, and the truth is always waiting to be uncovered. If you enjoyed the journey, subscribe to us, and don't miss what's next. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning everything.